So welcome to our Isagenix Wellbeing call tonight. This is the chance for you, if you're wondering what this is all about, it's the chance for you to really find out how our program works, why it works, and hear from people who've experienced this program. So I want you to have a think. If you could learn just one thing, and for those of you who don't know where the chat is, look for chat, and so that because we're going to ask you every now and then to put ones and twos in the chat. If you could learn one thing that could help you to remain strong, fit, and healthy for the next 20 years, put a one in the chat if that would excite you. And if you could learn something tonight that would help you get over those moments of not being motivated to do what you know that you need to do to stay strong, fit, and healthy. One thing to help you stay motivated. Would that get you excited? So put a two in the chat if you need motivation. Put a one in the chat if you want to know something about becoming strong, fit, and healthy. And lastly, I'd love you to put a three in the chat if you are someone who would like to know how you could get all of these products and use all of our amazing products and get them paid for so that you don't have to dip into your bank account too much. So put a three in the chat if you're excited about that, because we're going to cover all those three things tonight. And I am delighted. These events don't come without organization. So I'm delighted to be able to share tonight with Belinda and Rachel. And we also have special guests as well on tonight. So thank you, everybody who's contributed. And thank you for taking up half an hour of your time to be with us tonight and to learn more about our Isagenix program. So before we move right into the nitty gritty part, I just want to cover this. And this is a really important slide for me because I've been with Isagenix over 15 years and I would never be without these products in my body. So the reason I can have these products in my body is because the company is there and is sound and is solid and has a really high level of integrity. So we don't promise anything. We don't cure, diagnose, or treat any illnesses. And we know that every body comes in differently. And so your results are not guaranteed. However, we do have a money back guarantee, which is awesome. But the integrity of Isagenix is super important. Now, my story, I'm going to cover super quickly, but basically you can see over on the left-hand side of the screen was me around 13 years ago. I was unfit, unhealthy, and really felt like I was on a roller coaster to old age. I got on this program because I wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Someone had suggested that was a good thing for me to do, and I signed up and then got incredibly scared that I might die up that mountain. So I thought I better get myself strong and fit and healthy, as I mentioned before. So I reached out to my friend and naturopath, Jennifer Jeffries, and she got me on the program. And I promise you, I've never looked back since then. I've been able to maintain that health and fitness. I lost around about 13 kilos, and I've been able to maintain that for all this time. So to me, that's the biggest thing about the program. We know you can get great results, but maintaining them is even better. And I've turned into a crazy runner, and you can see there the race day photo was when I was lacing my running shoes up to run 100 miles. So that's what I do now. It's really quite crazy. I run long distance, and today I got a PB in my 5K time trial. So I'm pretty proud of that at 67. So that's me. Moving right on, we've got Rachel and Belinda both sharing tonight with me. And the first one's going to tell you their story is Belinda.
Thanks, Heather, and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm based in WA. I have been using the products for 7 years, and when I started, was lacking so much energy. I would have to have a coffee at 3 o'clock to get through my evening routine with young children. I had an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and yeah. I was going to the gym and just not getting those fine results that I was working so hard for, probably because I didn't have the energy to put into my workouts. And so I was introduced to Isogenic because I started on the Ultimate Pack. And by day 5, after my first 36-hour cleanse, the energy just hit. And I absolutely loved feeling so well again in my body. And so this, yeah, 30 days dropped 5 to 6 kilos. And it's just continued on since then. So I have a maintenance program that I really work on, and just focusing on nutrition. And I love that I get to help other women really make those changes by tweaking their nutrition, balancing their cortisol, and removing toxins as well. So yeah, and welcome tonight. And yeah, we're here to answer any questions that you have.
So my story, so mine is a little different, I guess, to your usual weight loss story. I mean, I'd never been really large, but I had a really big problem with my gut health from years of being very stressed. I had 4 sons. I ran a business and I was living on Diet Coke and coffee and headache tablets. So my gut was shocking. And I got to sort of perimenopause stage and I started putting on weight around my stomach and I was like, what is going on? So I started restricting my diet even further if that's possible. And I just kept getting worse and worse. And I thought, my God, I've got to do something. I'm just so unhealthy. My mental health suffering because of my gut health. And I can just see that things are not going to get good. And, as I start heading through menopause, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So actually, Heather said to me, look, try the program because you know what? You might notice a big change. And I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I'll give it a shot. And, about 5 days in, I was like, I'm so amazed at how much energy I had. But not only that, I just felt like a light had been switched on inside my brain that I was kind of back to that feeling of, when you're a kid and you're so excited about life and the future and everything. It was a complete change. And, I started being able to go to the gym a bit more and I started to tone up and, I just have not looked back. But the most important thing I got out of it was the fact that you don't have to feel like crap just because you're a woman and just because you've got kids and just because you're heading down the hormonal stage to perimenopause and menopause. It's not a thing that you just have to put up with because you can change the trajectory of your life by changing your nutrition. And I studied to be a nutritionist because I was so passionate about how important diet is on women's health and hormones. And then it's my goal now to share this with as many women as possible because you don't have to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to be overweight. You don't have to feel like rubbish. There is a solution and it's not medical. You can do this all naturally with the right products and the right support. So that's my story. I could go on and talk forever, but that's it in a nutshell. Now, I just wanted to share this story as well. This is a lady that did undertake the 30-day reset. And you can see, and she, believe it or not, my stomach was a bit like that as well. I was kind of slim, but I had this belly. And I found out later that it was due to cortisol and toxins. And it wasn't until I did this program that it started to come off. And the same thing happened with this lady here. And, she nourished herself with the nutrition. She did some cleanse days. She managed her stress. And lo and behold, 6 kilos of visceral fat left her and didn't come back again. Now, you can diet and you can try all kinds of things when you're in this situation. No matter how hard you try, nothing will work until you get those 3 pillars going. And those pillars are protein pacing, cleansing, and managing stress. So really, really important. That's one of the reasons why this program works so well is that it addresses those pillars that no other diet out there does. It is just incredible. Now, I wanted just to share with you a great friend of mine, friends, Chantel and Stu. Now, Chantel started on the program a little while ago, and I'm going to let her tell you her story, and Stu as well, because they've had an incredible transformation. I can't hear you, Chantel. You're maybe just unmute.
There we go.
There you go.
Thanks, Rach. So I met Rachel through social media, and my doctor had said to me I needed to lose 4 or 5 kilo, and she put me on some medication for my brain fog, my memory and fatigue, which is, perimenopausal was knocking on the door. So I did that and then met Rachel, and she offered me the detox program, which I was really interested in doing. So I didn't do the shakes. I've just done the cleanse and the detox. And I didn't actually take any before photos at my heaviest because I sort of didn't think anything too much of it. Didn't sort of know if it would work or not, but just started doing it. And sure enough, within a couple of weeks, I dropped 5 kilos. And I went, oh my goodness, this is actually working. So then I took some photos. And then, yeah, sure enough, 15 kilos later, within about 3 to 4 months. And I'm happy to report that I no longer have brain fog and I no longer take my supplements from the doctor. No memory loss, and I've got a lot more energy. So it has been absolutely life-changing for myself. And I'm actually really excited about helping other ladies do the same thing. So that's my little story. And Stu can tell you about his.
So I seen what was happening with Shan really quickly and thought really quickly, I've got to get involved in this. I've always been 94, around that in kilo. Done a lot of Ironmans, done a lot of marathons, and could never ever get under that 90 kilo. So I was always competing at a heavy weight. Seen Shan and the results she got, and initially tried the detox, didn't work. Rolled through into the shakes, and within a matter of weeks, really started to see some great results. I've now lost over 10 kilo. I'm feeling great. I'm running the shake program, so I do 2 shakes a day. Have one for breakfast, which I normally have over between sort of 8:30 and 9:30, and then I have my second shake. I normally run it after lunch, probably around 1:30 till 2:30. I love the shakes. They're smooth, they're clean, and I feel great after them. The weights come off. I feel good, and it shows in my results that I'm getting with my running as well. So yeah, really, really impressed, and really glad to be a part of the journey with Shan and Isagenix.
Thanks, guys. That was, super powerful. And you're such great role models for how this works. And I love how, there was 2 different ways that you did it. So Chantel mostly focused on doing cleanse days and ate kind of regular food, whereas Stu was like, I don't want to do just cleanse days. I need something else. So we adjusted to suit you. And what's going to work best for you. But the core product really, or the core system, revolves around the 30-day reset. And I'll let Belle talk to you a bit more about that.
Thanks, Rach. Well, the 30-day reset is it's a really great way to reset your baseline, a really great place to start. And it includes having shake days around whole foods, nutrition, really helping to help you hit your protein macros, what you're needing. Does anyone know how much you're needing each day? Drop in the chat, because that is why we utilize the shakes to supplement to hit your protein macros. And I know for me, as a busy mum, I need something easy around the whole foods throughout the day and in the evening as well. Yep, 2 grams per body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilos, you should be hitting around 120 grams of protein a day. So here's quickly a visual of what it looks like. We have our Onyx Supreme in the morning, which is really great for balancing any physical or mental stress that you have in the body, that it just builds up from everyday life. It's a beautiful adaptogenic herb that has ashwagandha. It actually has 28 adaptogens in it. So we start the day with that. We have a shake. Mid-morning, a really beautiful whole foods protein focused snack. Lunch is a shake, or you could even have a meal. And then the afternoon, you could have a snack or a shake, depending on really what your day is looking like. And then dinner, a beautiful meal, sitting around 600 calories of protein around the size of your palm. Lots of veggies. I'd like to see half a plate, and carbs and healthy fats as well. So that is our balanced day of a shake day, we call it. Along that, we have a natural accelerator as well, which helps speed up your metabolism. And then right before bed, there is the Isoflush, which has magnesium in it, a black walnut as well to repair your gut digestive system. And so, yeah, this is a balanced day. And then we have the cleanse days, which is incorporated. Here's just a quick visual of the foods that we have recipes for, what your meals can look like, your snacks. So you're definitely not, we don't want restriction. We don't want you living off shakes. We want you eating and then using the shakes to supplement for your protein as well. And here is the Onyx Supreme. I'll pass over to Rach to talk about this liquid gold.
Yeah, it's a really good word for it, liquid gold. It's amazing. And one of the core pillars of the program is stress reduction or cortisol reduction. And you probably heard, if you've watched any of my socials, I talk about it a lot because that was something that impacted my life so much. Cortisol is the fat storage hormone, and you tend to see it around your waist, and it's cumulative. And we think that, our bodies are really good at getting rid of stress, but not the level that we're all exposed to, especially females tend to, sorry, Stu, females tend to be a bit more stressed, I think, because we've got to deal with the guys and the kids and everything. No, I'm joking. So I think, it is such a powerful part because our bodies will react to stress by holding on to weight. So when we have the Onyx every morning and it's 30 mils, that tells your body to calm down so you can release those extra calories. So it's a super important part of the program and one of the non-negotiables and one of the big reasons why it works so well. And a cleanse day, what does a cleanse day look like? So it looks like the Cleanse for Life, which is a little bit like a sweeter version of Onyx with a few other sort of herbs and botanicals in it, which helps your body release toxins. So toxins sit in our fat cells, and most people don't realize that, but the reason why most regular diets struggle to work is because they don't address the toxin factor. Now, this program actually allows your body to release stored up toxins, and they're stored in your fat cells to protect your organs. Your body is so clever at making sure the toxins aren't running through your bloodstream and doing damage to your organs. So it sits in your fat cell until you do a cleanse day or week. Some people call them a detox, whatever you want to call it. Those toxins can't be released and they stay there. So you can exercise as much as you want, you can diet as much as you want, but that rubber tie around your belly is never going to leave unless you do a cleanse, because that is how the toxins get removed. So it's super, super important. What it is you drink this beautiful tasting berry liquid 4 times a day, drink lots of water, and you have these little snacks that with chromium in them to stop you craving and also make you feel a little bit satisfied. Now you go for as long as you possibly can on that day without food, just those couple of things. And then you'll see the next day, you'll feel incredible. The first time you do a cleanse day, you might only be able to do 3/4 of a day. The second time you do it, you might be able to go the full day. Some people just nail it, others it takes a bit longer. But Doesn't matter how you do it, just doing the cleanse of some kind is going to change the consistency of your body, your makeup. It's going to remove toxins and shift fat faster than anything else that you can do. Now, this is another one of my favorites. I'm always talking about collagen, and I absolutely love it. Every cell in our body is made up of collagen. We need that, and as we age, our body stops producing it, which is why you see an accelerated rate of aging. Once you get over about age 30, things rapidly go backwards. And if you don't address that, you're going to have some issues later on, perhaps with saggy skin and all that kind of thing. But most importantly, it's about helping your body be the strongest and fittest and healthiest it can possibly be. Now, you'll notice with this product, you'll notice that blemishes are gone, wrinkles are gone, and it's the highest potency collagen on the market. There is so much collagen out there, which is rubbish. This is by far the best because it is so potent and works so well. And even the guys get into it. Stu, I heard that you were stealing some collagen. Darren's been stealing mine. I keep saying don't. And I know Neil, Heather, he could never grow a beard until he started taking collagen. Like, how amazing is that? So it is an incredible product.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely for the men as well. I not a morning goes by with the first thing I hear is Neil go to the fridge and opening sound of the bottle of collagen. So yes, he's an absolute advocate of it for men. So this is one of our newer products, and Belle mentioned earlier on about the importance of us getting enough protein in our body, and particularly as we get older. And I love working with women over 50 who really realize that they want to keep their body looking and feeling good, and and feeling, as we said earlier on, strong, fit, and healthy. And this is the perfect addition. So if I'm a little bit down on my 120 grams of protein a day, then one serve of this is 20 grams of protein. And you can even combine it with our IsaPro, and you can get it up to 47 grams of protein in one drink. So you can either have it as a clear drink, just like protein water, or you can add the other whey protein and make it more of a creamy shake. It's brilliant. Just a fantastic product. I know, Belle, you're really hot on this as far as, this example and how it's not that easy to get your protein levels up, is it?
Yeah, so many people think, oh, I'll have some eggs on toast. Well, an egg only has 7 grams of protein. So many people think by having some chicken or some eggs and dinner, they're going to hit their protein macros, but it's a lot more than that. And you can see here visually with Sally's typical day of eating, she's not even introducing a shake at breakfast, she's still not hitting her protein macros. So by her adding in the clear protein, she could get an extra 20 grams on that. And then we would tweak it as well, where she could increase her protein, adding it into Greek yogurt. A scoop of that adds an extra 12 grams of protein. So there's ways that we can help you supplement that in so that you can really hit it. And, if you don't hit your protein macros, your metabolism isn't working, because as soon as you consume protein, your body is like, all right, I need to process this and burn it out, because it doesn't store it and it doesn't make it. Poor muscle recovery if you're really Emma just asked the question. Yeah, I would only have it one serve a day. I know it tastes really good, and sometimes you might want to have the protein water twice a day. But what I would do is either maybe use the IsaPro to bump up your protein in other ways. So adding it to your shake will give it a scoop of IsaPro in your morning shake will make it 42 grams. Or before bed, if you haven't hit your protein macros and you've already had the protein water, have the IsaPro with just a bit of water. You could add a little bit of peanut butter or greens or something like that in there. And that's another really, that's what bodybuilders and bikini body women do, is have this pure whey protein of the Isopro right before bed. Because what happens is you go to bed and your body is then you're burning fat, you're burning protein, your metabolism's working while you're sleeping. So it's a really smart way if you're under at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely if weight loss is your goal, definitely focusing on your protein is going to help so much. And it's such a big part of our program. And I love this. It's only 90 calories and 0 sugar as well. So it's a really great way to stay in a deficit while hitting your protein macros.
And I think one of the reasons we say only one a day is because what we don't want people to be doing is just using this to get their total protein. You need to get your protein in different formats. So, you know, you've got to have your fish or your chicken or something else, or your beans if you're a vegetarian. It's a matter of not just, you know, living off clear protein. I think that's the key reason.
Yeah, because then this is what's going to happen is there's so many people out there with nutrition deficits. I can't even speak tonight.
Deficiencies, nutritional deficiencies.
Yeah. So, you know, you really, I know as Gen coaches is thinking for the week, having like 30 different foods, you know, and that's what we're wanting to do. And it's even things like you need to have fiber, 25 to 35 grams of fiber. Fiber is going to keep you full and it's going to stop you eating cravings and things like that. So, and it, yeah, so it's a bit of a balance, but I would definitely, yeah, that's why they do recommend having that, because we want you to eat real food too. And the creatine, this is the most researched supplement on the planet. It definitely helps with brain health. The research studies have coming through about cognitive health with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, all these things. Really great product if you're wanting to build lean muscle as well, and really improves your performance if you're an athlete with your strength, recovery, all those things. So I know a lot of us have been taking this product since it's launched. It's so easy and adaptable to take as well. You can have it in water, in coffee, in your electrolytes, anything, to pop it in your shake. So it's a really, really great product to have.
Absolutely. And we also have a product called Nitro, which is a pre-workout, which I use before my runs. And that has the creatine in it as well. So you can swap it around and have the creatine on its own, or you can have the Nitro, so you can work them together. And do make sure this is a product that you need to have continually. It's not something that you use for a little while and then stop. So just make sure that you really do. If you're going to commit to creatine, commit to it, because it's definitely worth it. So here's some of our packs that we have. And I think the really important thing for me to point out here is that we have a choice of all sorts of different packs. So here you've got, as far as when you're doing a reset, you've got a 14-day reset, you've got a 30-day reset, or you've got the ultimate one when you absolutely want to hit it with collagen as well as the reset pack and some extra snacks. Or you might want to go down the route of the collagen. Or you may have particular needs that you want us to look at and work out a pack that works for you. And we do that all the time. So what I always say with this is that we have packs that will fit your goals and your budget. So, you know, don't look at this and think, okay, those ones aren't going to work for me. We will work with you as to whatever it is you want. And I think Chantel and Stu was a perfect example. You know, Stu said, no, I needed more. I needed the shake. So he went for the 30-day reset. Chantel got her results on a pack that she worked out together with Rachel that worked for her. So you can work out what works for you. And I promised at the beginning that we would give you a little snapshot of how you can get your products paid for. And there's a difference between people who do Isagenix as a business and people who do Isagenix and just share with a few friends and get their products paid for. So this is an example of that I played with today. So we know that the facts are that if you do something with a couple of friends, you get a better result because you've got accountability, you've got, someone to pick you up and brush you off when you have a bad day. You can do cleanse days together, all of those kind of things. So if you're looking at this, whether you're watching the recording or you're on here live tonight, and you'd like to do this with a couple of friends, just look at this. You earn some commission for introducing those two people. You also get a $50 upfront bonus for introducing two people. And if those people both come on in the same calendar month, then you end up with an extra $95 product voucher. So what that means is $319 worth of coupons and cash. Now you can spend the cash on whatever you want. You might want to go out and celebrate your month and have a nice dinner out. That's absolutely cool. Or you might want to use that cash and coupons to get your next month. Now, I always love to work with people on 1 month to the next. And if they've achieved their goal in their first month, they might want to go on a maintenance program, which this 14-day reset pack is perfect for. So just look at that. Introduce a couple of friends and you get your next month's products for free or with $319 discount. So we really wanted to cover that because sometimes people just don't realize how easy it is to start with a couple of friends. And guess what? You get us to coach them. We don't expect you to do that when you're new. We actually help you to coach them. We coach you together. So yeah, we just wanted to cover off that. And lastly, we have a bonus for tonight. So both for the people who are on here for the first time who haven't already got an account with Isagenix, if you jump on board in the next 2 days, you can get a free Tribiotic. Now, we haven't actually talked about Tribiotic, but I'll ask Belinda and Rach both to say how they feel about it. This is one of my favorite products to combine with the 30-day because it really helps to get your gut health right. So it's a combination of pre, pro, and post biotics, which really get your gut working properly. So it's a great combination either in your first month or your second month doing the 30-day. Anything else on the Tribiotic, guys?
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that your gut controls everything in your body, really. I mean, people think it's their brain, but it's not. Your gut, 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. 80% of your immune system starts in your gut, and 50% of your dopamine, which is like the bliss factor. So if your gut isn't right and things aren't working correctly, that's going to affect everything in your life. So this covers all your bases. It's got pre, pro, and postbiotics. Unlike if you go to the shops and you buy a probiotic or a prebiotic, this has got everything covered, which is the prebiotics is the food that the microorganisms eat. So you've got little animals in your stomach, right? The postbiotics is actually the poo that the animals poo out. And then which one have I done? The probiotics is the actual animals.
Yeah.
So I know this sounds gross, but it has everything covered. So everything's going to work perfectly. And I swear to God, I never get sick. And this is why I reckon the Tribiotic.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I heard someone talk about this the other day, and those probiotics are like the professionals, and you need to look after the professionals. and so you feed them good stuff, and yes, they poo out the postbiotics. So I love it. So try it. I tell you what, try it for a month. And that is not like the creatine. It's not something that you have to have every single day. You can do a month on it, get your gut health in order, and then have a little break and do another month on it. So that's something to keep in mind. So we've got a few resets starting. I know Belle's doing a 14-day reset. I'm going to be coaching a 30-day reset starting on the 17th of August. So just ask the person who invited you here today which reset you want to get involved in and how you get started on that using this special offer with the Tribiotic.